Hi everyone, it's Luis again. Listen, today I will be uh, talking to you about what I do to clean my coconut husk chips that I use for my orchids. Now, if you're not familiar with coconut husk chips, uh, I will show you what they are. Basically, it's the outside covering of a coconut, and it has been chopped in little squares. See right there. And depending on where you get it, uh, some of this product is not processed uh, enough or at all to remove salt uh, and debris that's in the coconut itself. So I have a container here. Basically it's a water container that I cut, and then right there I cut the top, and then I use this to put it on top. So this is what I do. If you're gonna do a small amount, you could just use one of these containers. Now if you're gonna use more, you could use a bucket. And usually I just do a little bit at a time. But if you're gonna do a big batch and whatever's left, you need to dry it out before you store it. Otherwise, it's going to start decomposing, and it might grow bacteria and other stuff that you don't want. So this is how I start. I put the coconut husk cubes in, or chips, in the container, and then I add the water. So here we go. So that's what I did. Now, as you can see, there's a layer down here. And the thing that it does is that the coconut husk is less buoyant. So what it's going to do is going to float up. So what I do, in order to make sure that all the coconut husk chips get wet, you put this upside down like that. And then I weigh it down with... I weigh it down with something heavy. It could be a brick, it could be a cup, and there you go. You might want to add a little bit more water. So now you can see that all the coconut husk is submerged underwater. So what's going to happen through the process of diffusion, all the salts will be taken out from inside the chip. Any dissolved solids that are in there are going to be taken out. So once you do that, I do mine at least 3 times. And I'll show you why. Because not only does the coconut husk chips have salts and other dissolved solids in there, it also has tannins. And tannins are the pigmentation that is in the chips themselves. Some people claim that it burns the roots and it stains your pots, and I've noticed that on my plants too. So I want to remove all that. At least you can't remove everything, but the majority will help. So what I did on this is how I do it. And the first time I rinse it overnight. Then I do a second day, and then I do a third day. And by the time I do the third day, it's pretty well clean so that you can use it. Now I'm going to point out that in this plant, this is a stenhopia. I've been struggling with it because, for one, I was not giving it enough moisture, because stenhopias like to stay more on the wet side. Now, what I want to do is point out that here, I'm going to take it out of the pot. here. I'm gonna bring it over here. Well, I want to point out that if you look here at the leaf tip, it's been turning brown. And this is clearly a sign of two things: A, fertilizer burn, or salts in the media. And I just moved this here. I repotted this plant in May. So it only has like 3-4 months in this container or in this basket. But the reason I did that is because I did not want to disturb the roots. I'm struggling with this plant, so I didn't want to disturb the roots anymore. So what I did, I'm going to deconstruct this backwards instead of forward, and you're going to see what I did. What I did, I taped a piece of material over the coconut husk because, like I said, it's going to float. So you don't want it to float. So I secured it down with a piece of material. And I think, honestly, this is a piece of sock. So see how it has dark coloration? That's the tannins. So you want to discard that. And now, since I've done this leaching out of the dissolved solids in my plant, now it's a lot healthier. The pseudobulbs have swollen, and it already gave me a new growth. So I'm super happy with that. So what I'm going to do is show you what happened with the first time I leached it. The first time I leached it, this is the water that came out of it. See how dark it is? So the first day, a lot of the tannins and dissolved solids are in there, came out. This is the second time I did it. And see, it's a little bit lighter, so it's coming out. And this is the third one where you saw me bring the plant out from. So it's way lighter. And if you notice on the pot itself, see how it stained the pot? So all that stuff stains your plant roots as well. So I'm going to hold them up all three so you guys can see that it does make a difference. So you want to rinse your coconut chip husks to remove all that stuff out. So